Welcome to another scriptural calendar study, let alone scriptural astronomical study. In fact, this study was requested to be completed here today while the timing is so perfect, because many are noticing that the scriptures talk about a dawn day start and not a sunrise day start. So the question is, did this past sixth new moon prove a dawn day start? Let's go find out and follow up with this question that we have been asked once again. As we all know on this YouTube channel, please ensure you stop the video at any time to focus on both the scriptural astronomical information, as there is a lot of detail to absorb, and ensure that your computer device, mobile phone, iPad, or computer screen is on full screen mode. These videos are better to watch on a computer screen as they are designed for visual purposes. The visuals, if you do not have a personal computer, the visuals are provided in the description box of this particular YouTube study. So again, this study is hot off the heels of the dialogue in regards to the anomaly of this latest sixth new moon. From these three videos, hallelujah, it's new moon day, the 6th month, which commenced on the pagan day of Saturday, September 10th. And we had witnesses with that all over Earth. And then we had some other witnesses that showed video footage for the 10th and the 11th. And that great question, can new moon day be on different days? And we revisited this, as we have since the inauguration of this YouTube channel back in 2013, and subsequent articles and discussions before that. So we're going to get into the dawn day start because it resolves the situation of this full moon as new moon anomaly, where 2 to 3 times a year the moon greets the sun at sunrise in certain parts of the earth on a certain day, and then the following day on other parts of the earth the moon will greet the sun at sunrise. And with that dogmatic approach of just the moon greeting the sun at sunrise, that only one witness approach, you get this scenario where people think new moon day can be on 2 different days, when in fact that is not true. So these scriptural study videos over the years went into other witnesses that unite us in regards to the Father of lights and the perfect witnesses from above that he provides. So we shared this screen. This is 7 locations with 7 different time zones, answering the question, can new moon days be on different days? Well, if your approach from a whole plane standpoint, and you believe that the Father of lights unifies, you would come to the conclusion that new moon day should be on the same day everywhere, and thus the Sabbaths would be on the same day everywhere, on the 8th day, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th, and that would make the feast days on the same day everywhere on the whole plane, if you will. So that's the approach that we have always taken. So when we seen this anomaly, again, well before 2013, we started studying it out with other bereans. So this latest new moon, the 6th new moon, if you lived in Anaheim, California, Dallas, Texas, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and Cape Town, South Africa, and your approach, the dogmatic approach of the moon only greeting the sun at sunrise is your approach, then you would have made the decision that the pagan day of Saturday, September 10th was new moon day. That's what you would have done. And in these locations, the moon was 100% illuminated in Anaheim, both the dawn and sunrise, and did indeed greet the sun at sunrise. Same in Dallas, Texas, same in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and at 99.9 at dawn and sunrise on the pagan day of Saturday, September 10th. This indeed did happen, and we have film footage for all of these locations. Thank you, Tamara, for your pictures and film footage and your confirmation. Now, if you lived in Mumbai, India, Nairobi, Kenya, Berlin, Germany, even Jerusalem, the moon was the highest illumination for that particular month on September 10th, but it didn't greet the sun at sunrise. So again, it was highest percent illumination at the dawn and sunrise, but it didn't greet the moon at sunrise. So with the dogmatic approach of the moon greeting the sun at sunrise, you would wait till the next day, thus creating a dilemma of not having new moon days on the same day everywhere on the total plane. So again, this has nothing to do with calculation. This has nothing to do with what I think or my opinion. Yahuwah, our Father of lights, the only self-existent one, provides this 2 to 3 times a year, meaning 2 to 3 separate months in any given scriptural year. So what's the solution? Because the sun, moon, and stars give great examples of the future as it relates to the scriptural restoration of all things. And the moon is indeed restored month after month to its fullest of light. So the question always has been, should the witnesses of light divide and or unite? So if you have a dogmatic approach with the moon greeting the sun at sunrise only as your only witness, you're in what's called the vicious cycle, because you're going to experience this dilemma 2 to 3 times or 2 to 3 months out of every scriptural year. So how do we get into the virtuous cycle, where we can look at these witnesses of light from our Father of lights, the sun, moon, and stars, that show us that the new moon day is indeed on the same day everywhere on earth, on that plane, if you will, and meaning that the Sabbaths, of course, then would be on the same day everywhere on earth, along with the feast days. The appointed times would be totally in order. Again, the vicious cycle, if you ignore what Yahuwah provides, you're in the vicious cycle. And you'll come into this conclusion, oh, there's confusion this month. Well, there's really no confusion. The confusion exists because of the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Again, if you have the dogmatic approach that the moon greeting the sun at sunrise is the only way to determine new moon day, you are going to run into trouble 2 to 3 times a year. It's an astronomical fact. It has nothing to do with man-made calculations, apps, and or opinions. It is what happens in the heavens. So let's look at the total plane one more time from the proper view, whether from looking down from heaven or looking up in the dome. Let's take a look at it in full, shall we? Because everywhere on earth on the pagan day of Monday, September 9th, the moon was not fully illuminated or at its highest percent illumination. But on September 10th, the pagan day of September 10th, at the dawn and sunrise, the moon was at its highest percent illumination everywhere on earth. This is how we understand the restoration of all things. The moon provides this example monthly. It's restored. We have the opportunity in the future to be restored, the opportunity to live into eternity. So as you can see, Monday, September 9th, the moon wasn't fully restored and or at its highest illumination at the dawn or sunrise. The pagan day of Saturday, September 10th, it was for everywhere on earth. And by Sunday, September 11th, it diminished. It was in its waning phase. So again, take a look. On Saturday, September 10th, that pagan day, the moon everywhere was either at 100% illuminated and or at its highest point of illumination at the dawn and sunrise. It's an astronomical fact that unites us all. Take a look at the following day, Sunday, September 11th. The moon is now beyond restoration in its waning phase all over Earth. So you could only know this if you go outside every day in the fourth watch, which starts at the dawn. The fourth watch starts at the dawn, Bokar, Shokar. And you would notice this. And a true scriptural day start is the dawn, because the witnesses of light unite. They don't divide. Now again, if you have a dogmatic approach of the moon greeting the sun at sunrise, you will remain in the vicious cycle, and there will be this disorderly confusion 2 to 3 times a year. It is what it is. It's empirical, astronomical fact. 2 more examples. This is where I live. And as I shared, we forecast every day and go outside every day to test and prove that forecast with film and photograph footage, as you have seen in the scriptural study videos. We do not just wait for new moon day to figure it out. So 2 days before the pagan day of Saturday, September 10th, new moon day in this case, you can see the moon, 94.3, at the dawn, 94.7. It's waxing. The day before new moon day, 98.5 to 98.7. It's waxing. And then boom, at the dawn and sunrise, 100%. Now, based on the forecast, it says minus 0.44. But as you've seen in my video, I got on a hill and I still could see the sun rising. If I had a drone and put that up in the sky, you would see the sunrise. If you were in an airplane, you would see the sun. Remember, these applications, called apps, use the horizon at sea level and or certain meters or feet above sea level. They're programmed. Please understand what you're looking at. So I clearly witnessed the moon at 100% on Saturday, September 10th, greeting the sun at sunrise, even though the app said minus 0.44. Take a look at Jerusalem, Israel. The moon was at its highest percent illumination, again, on Saturday, September 10th. Let's look at the waxing phase every day, and in this case, 2 days before new moon day. On the pagan day of Thursday, September 8th, the 28th day of the 5th month, the moon was 92.5 at the dawn, 92.5 at sunrise. Following day at the dawn, 97.5, and then 97.7. Still waxing, still growing, still restoring light. And then by new moon day, 99.8 and 99.9. And it didn't greet the sun at sunrise. But take a look at the following day. Waning phase, lower. It's not the highest percent illumination. 99.4 at the dawn, 99.3, and it did greet the sun at that point. So again, as you can see, the dawn proves that is a proper day start, and it aligns us all, let alone the illumination, the restoration of all things. But let's talk a little bit more about the dawn. Let's draw that out. So bottom line, a restored moon, if you understand how it waxes, and you're looking at it throughout the day and all the 4 night watches to the dawn and then sunrise, you will nail this. You will have no problems whatsoever. But again, if your dogmatic approach, with a one witness approach only, with the moon greeting the sun at the sunrise, you will struggle 2 to 3 times a year. Learning about the restoration of all things, along with how the moon is restored daily, all the way to becoming fully restored, is so important, as we've covered in this scriptural study video. So we look at the moon throughout the daylight time period, into Areb, or the evening, through all 4 night watches, up to and including the start of a scriptural day, Bakar Shakar, at the 4th watch, all the way to sunrise. We look at the whole picture, the whole face of the clock, the whole face of the plane and our earth. And we talk more about this in this scriptural study video about the moonrise and moonset witness. It's so important to understand where that moon's going to be, where it's going to rise every day, because that will tell you its illumination as well for that total time period, right up to when it sets. So, did the 6th new moon prove a dawn day start? Did this type of month that we experience 2 to 3 times a year once again prove a scriptural dawn day start? Well, we covered this in these scriptural study videos entitled Mechanics of the Moon at Dawn. And last year, the 6th new moon, we used that time period. So it's very timely, if you will. And does the celebration or the observation of atonement scripturally prove when a day starts? So if interested, these 2 scriptural study videos will be very valuable in regards to identifying a true scriptural start of a day. So let's take a look again at the evidence. And by the way, our only teacher, the Messiah Yahushua in Yahuchanan, or John chapter 8, verse 2, from the ISR translation and a version quotes. And at dawn he came again into the set-apart place. I repeat, and at dawn he came again into the set-apart place, and all the people were coming to him, and having sat down, he was teaching them. We believe the Messiah Yahushua, as it states in Matityahu chapter 23, is our only teacher. And as a result, he brings his Father's word. He does his Father's will. He acknowledges his Father as greater than he is. So we're going to trust our only teacher, the Messiah Yahushua. And at dawn he came again into the set-apart place, and all the people were coming to him. The fourth watch, starting at the dawn or first light, you see all three witnesses, sun, moon, and stars. And that's what makes this watch a little bit more special than the others. They're all great, but this one has some really cool things that are added to it. If you're interested on how the lights unite us on the whole plane, not parts of it, from a dome or shamayim vantage point. So let's take a look at this. Take a look at the dawn on the pagan day of Saturday, September 10th, the first day of the 6th month. Why? Because at the dawn, the moon is at its highest percent illumination than any other day, and it's greeting the sun at first light. And you can see the stars still that the moon is ruling with. That is why the dawn day start is so extremely valuable. Please stop the video now and take a look at the data, because we've got pictures and photograph and film footage of these locations proving all of this. So at the end of the day, this is the power of assembling together in the name which is above all names. Because that's where he will be, and that's where the teaching will be at dawn when he came into the set-apart place. And all the people were coming to him, and having sat down, he was teaching them. So the amount of information you get from the sun, moon, and stars at dawn, first light, is far more enormous, because you're seeing first light, and you're still seeing the set of stars that the moon is ruling with. It's a very valuable time period, and why he came to his apostles or disciples or emissaries while they were in the boat when he walked in the water. It was the fourth watch. And why they came to the tomb after the Sabbath at dawn. The Sabbath ends at dawn, and the new day begins at dawn. So again, very basic. Please stop the video. These visuals will be in the description box. Anyone can test and prove them for themselves. And for all those bereans out there that do indeed get out every day, let alone the night before New Moon Day and so forth, thank you for proving all things with film and photograph footage. Once again, very lovely. But if you have the dogmatic approach and you don't want to do that, you don't want to learn all of these witnesses of light, then you're going to stick with the dogmatic approach of the moon greeting the sun at sunrise. And if you were in these positions or parts of Earth on the plane, you would have made the decision on Saturday, September 10th. But if you were in these locations, you would have said Sunday, September 11th. Are you going to stick with the vicious cycle of approach and continue not to utilize the witnesses of light that unite us? Again, our Father of lights and his perfect witnesses from above unite. They do not divide, no matter what anybody says. So again, the dawn is excellent, and as you can see, everywhere on earth on the pagan day of Saturday, September 10th, at the dawn, the moon was at its highest point of illumination, if not fully restored, and it greeted the sun at first light, the dawn, when a true scriptural day begins. This, of course, is if you're only interested in how all of the witnesses of light unite us on the whole plane at the same time. If you're looking at the heavens from a dome type of shamayim approach. Again, pride is concerned with who is right. Humility is concerned with what is right. So if you're looking for that continuous debate of disorder 2 to 3 times a year, well, stick with the moon greeting the sun at sunrise, and you will get enough of that confusion. But remember, our Father of lights is an almighty one of order, not chaos. So again, should the witnesses of light divide and or unite? Well, we believe they were built to unite us all. Human beings can't unite each other. Only the Father of lights and the witnesses of light that he provides can unite us. So it's not me or anyone else. And again, if you're going to stick with this dogmatic approach of the moon greeting the sun at sunrise, again, it's a great witness, but it struggles 2 to 3 times a year for a reason. It doesn't work. So again, this is the evidence, and thank you to all those bereans in these locations that gave us film and photograph footage, because many gave us the moon greeting the sun at sunrise on Sunday, September 11th. But at the end of the day, the moon was in its waning phase. It wasn't in its restoration phase, full restoration, or the highest illumination. It was already beyond restoration and starting to wane. So yes, indeed, the witnesses of light unite. They do not divide. So again, if you want to have division, stick with the moon greeting the sun at sunrise, and you'll get enough of it, and you'll remain in the vicious cycle, and you'll practice doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you want to remove yourself from that, join the Virtuous cycle with the witnesses of light that the Father of lights, Yahuwah himself, provides. Remember, in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33, for the Almighty Father of lights is not an almighty one of disorder. So if you're looking for chaos, stick with that one witness approach. But if you're looking how the lights unite, then use all the witnesses of light. And this is what bereans share. New moon days cannot be on different days. And there's enough witnesses that prove otherwise. And you can film and photograph them. Everyone can do it. But you got to look at the full daylight time period with moonrise, moonset into the evening, the 4 night watches to a true scriptural day start, Bukar, Shakar, dawn, first light, and why we rise before the dawn and cry for help. It's about restoration. It's why the Messiah, Yahushua, on the stake cried out to his Father, the greater one, Ali, Ali, Shabbatini. The righteous ones are righteous not because of what they do, is what they recognize who the righteous one is, and that's Yahuwah. There is only one good one, and that's Yahuwah in the heavens. And this is why our Yahuwah's witnesses are wonders, and why our being observes them. But if you're into the Gregorian calendar still, this non-scriptural system, there will remain chaos, which is regrettable. So again, dawn is Bukar Shakar, and the scriptural studies that people have done, let alone on this YouTube channel, the etymology is overwhelming with the scriptural verses. Remember, the word Shemesh both recognizes sunrise and sunset, and the Babylonian system of syzygy at the horizon with the crescent moon and then the sun setting in the west and all that good stuff, regrettably, is what has filtered into even the full moon believers' pantry, if you will. So Zechariah the prophet said, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, I am saving or delivering my people from the land of sunrise and from the land of sunset. Remember, obelisks, sundials, they're all Babylonian. And there are reasons why we have to remove them, no longer use them, eliminate them from timekeeping. So, the moon did indeed, this 6th new moon did indeed prove a dawn day start. So again, it happens 2 to 3 times a year. This thing that we call an anomaly, it's not on Yahuwah. He does this on purpose 2 to 3 times a year so that we know how to utilize all of his witnesses of light to tell time, more specifically his appointed times, which includes new moon days, chags. So if you're interested in this subject, these 2 videos, Mechanics of the Moon at Dawn and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, does atonement prove when a day starts? And it certainly does. So if you're interested in how the witnesses of light work for everyone, everywhere on the total plane, under the dome, so to speak, then you'll get a much more appreciation of our only teacher when he stated and implemented in his life here on earth. At dawn he came again into the set apart place, and all the people were coming to him, and having sat down he was teaching them. So we love that scriptural passage because it humbles us. We're tired of that simple debate and why there's no reason to strive with the flesh. We strive with Yahuwah. Yisrael means to strive with the Almighty One in what he provides. We no longer have a need to strive with the flesh. Pride is concerned with who is right. Humility is concerned with what is right. Remember, 2 to 3 times a year, the moon will greet the sun at sunrise on one day in certain parts and the next day in others. And you're going to get this constant, unnecessary debate of striving with the flesh. It's silly. Now, if you use the total witnesses of light, like this example at the dawn, we'll all be on the same page, let alone how the moon restores, how the greater light restores the lesser light on a daily basis. And as we can see on the pagan day of Saturday, September 10th, in this case, at the dawn, it greeted the sun at dawn, first light. Now remember, you get a switch 2 to 3. So on this side of the pond, in most cases, it was on September 10th, and in most cases, excluding South Africa and a couple other places, if you understand why that happens, it switches. So again, that anomaly happens 2 to 3 times a year. So again, the moon greeting the sun at sunrise works well most of the year, but you're going to run into this challenge 2 to 3 times a year. Now, some people say, well, you don't look too worried about it, Michael. Well, I'm not. My goal is to keep myself away from presumptuous people, dogmatic people, people that like to guess. I like using all of the witnesses. I like evidence. I like facts. I enjoy empirical thought in regards to proof with film and photograph footage. And I don't enjoy presumptuous ones ruling over me because they cause chaos, confusion. And that's why the word Israel means the ones who persist and exert and persevere. That's Sarah. That's what Yeshua. And then Al means the Almighty Father of Lights. So those are the folks we tend to assemble with because they don't care who is right. They only care what is right based on what the perfect witnesses of light offer that unite us all. So it's a very excellent approach. And this keeps us away from the Shah movement. The Shah of Iran. Shah on Shah means Lord of Lords and King of Kings. In Asia, Taisha and Bunshas, those are temples of the Lord. And if you're into Hinduism, Ganesha, the Lord of the common people. If you're a Christian, praise the Lord God. That's basically praise the Shah. So again, if you're Muslim, Shah of Iran, Lord of Iran, King of Iran. So we try to remove ourselves from that. And the bigger plan is not debating with full moon believers. It's non-value added. The plan here is to share the very first page of Scripture with everybody in world religions because they know something's wrong with the Gregorian calendar, just as we once did. So remember, I used to be spoon-fed as well. Moon greeting the sun at sunrise, that's it. It's dogmatic, it's over. No discussion. I had cognitive dissonance, which is a psychological conflict resulting from incongruous beliefs and attitudes held simultaneously. Well, the guy in one part of the earth that sees the moon greeting the sun at sunrise, it's new moon day, and you're wrong over there. Meanwhile, he sees it, or she sees it, greeting the sun at sunrise for the first time on another day in another part of the world. So that's cognitive dissonance. And it can't be, it can't exist. But it does exist 2 to 3 times a year. So I had cognitive dissonance. Nothing bad with cognitive dissonance. We all have it. The way is hard pressed. We have to strive with the Almighty One. Remember, it says with Yahuwah to reason with Him. Come now, let us reason with Yahuwah. It doesn't say go reason with other human beings. Again, we reason with Yahuwah. If you reason with human beings, you're going to end up in one of these groups. which again is proving itself to be very problematic day after day after day. Well, if cognitive dissonance isn't bad, what is? Well, the definition of cognitive bias is as follows: a personal and sometimes unreasoned judgment. It's prejudice. Deviation of the expected value of a statistical estimate from the quantity it estimates. So if you stay with the dogmatic cognitive bias of the moon greeting the sun at sunrise being the only witness to get you home, A, you're eliminating the stars. 2, you're eliminating a dawn day start. 3, you're eliminating how the moon is restored all the way out to its full restoration. And then the day after new moon day, it starts its waning phase. So again, cognitive bias is serious, and cognitive bias is where the traditions of men start to be born, because it's a systematic error introduced into sampling or testing by selecting or encouraging one outcome or answer over others. It stops utilizing facts. It stops utilizing absolute truth. Again, absolute truth astronomically, 2 to 3 months of a scriptural year, you'll experience the moon greeting the sun at sunrise in one part of the earth on one particular day, and then the following day in another part of the earth on the very next day. So again, use all of the witnesses of light as we are sharing, and we will all be united, and you can get away from the definition of insanity, which means doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. This is why I'm so comfortable. 2 reasons. 1, it's going to happen again. We'll have the same discussion as we have had from years well before 2013 all the way up to here and now. So when it happens again, we continue to create these videos, and there's a collection of them. And over time, persistence will overcome resistance. It is what it is. Number 2, there's no reason to strive with the flesh within the full moon believer community. The bigger prize is not who is right. The bigger prize is there are people still in Christianity, people still in Islam, people still that are atheists, Hindus, Buddhists, folk religionists, the movements of Hebrew roots and Messianic movements, let alone Judaic people. They know something's wrong with the Gregorian. They are fully aware of what the first page of Scripture states about the sun, moon, and stars being for days, years, signs, and appointed times. They want to know. So if you have some understanding of the scriptural calendar here and now, share that with them. That's the bigger prize. That's more of a noble berean approach, rather than striving with the flesh on who is right, rather than what is right. So if you're interested in that approach, this YouTube channel is definitely for you, because we look at the whole face of the clock, the whole plane, not just parts of it. We don't use just parts of the moon. We use moonrise, moonset, degrees to true north, degrees to the horizon, percent illumination. So again, the Messiah Yahushua taught the lesser light, the lights are lights on a lampstand. If you wait for sunset or sunrise and live in a city, you're going to miss all of this. If you live in a valley and you wait for sunset or sunrise, you're going to miss all of this beauty. So again, pretty basic. So the moon did indeed prove that a scriptural day starts at the dawn, if you're into the lights uniting us all. If you're not, well, then you'll definitely come to some other conclusions. So, make a long story short, I've been asked also on the YouTube channel under the community page daily in this 6th month, all the way to the first day of Yom Teruah, the 7th month, to provide these forecasts so that people understand how we do this and why it reduces the chaos and confusion, if not eliminate it. So again, we interpret Scripture according to Scripture, and we believe in the restoration of all things with the sun, moon, and stars. We believe it's all part and parcel, if you will. So this is why we take timeanddate.com every day. So today I am narrating this scriptural study video on the pagan day of Monday, September 12th, 2022, which is the 3rd day of the 6th month. And the illumination of the moon will be 95.5. And as you can see, it gives me my moonset and moonrise times. It gives me the degrees to true north. And it shows me the meridian passing time, which is the 180 degree mark. and it shows me the percent illumination, altitude, heading, and its position when it's over the horizon. So this you can get for your own area. These numbers represent my area. And it's not my calculation. This is what Yahuwah provides, and thus the reason we can measure it. We can forecast and then get outside with film and photograph footage and test and prove it. This is what bereans do. They check the scriptures daily to see if those things are so, with great encouragement. Here's the other thing. Your fingers are designed to measure this. You don't need an app. Yahuwah created your hands to measure. So when you do this, that's 25 degrees, which is the shape of Ursa Major, Job 38. 15 degrees looks like that, 10 degrees, 5 degrees, 1 degree. So all of this is at your fingertips. You can do this, and they've been doing it for thousands of years. I am not sharing anything new because I've got, sharpened skills. I'm a truck driver with a tie on by profession. Nothing more, nothing less. I am not a smart human being. At the end of the day, what I am, though, is diligent. I will follow up. I will look at all the evidence, and I will not allow presumptuous ones to rule over me. And I'm asking each of you never to be allowed to be ruled over by someone that guesses and assumes and presumes. Don't do that. Please. Because Yahuwah provides the witnesses that you can measure with your design fingers on your hand. It's that basic. So we'll do this every day, Yahuwah willing, all the way up to the first day of the 7th month. And I was also asked to include the 177 day count from the book of Hanok, chapter 79, verse 4. And I quote, which takes place in the first portal in its season, first day of the first month of Abib, till 177 days are accomplished, reckoned according to weeks, 25 weeks and 2 days. And we blow the ram's horn at the time of the new moon, at the full moon, on our festival day, Yom Teruah, trumpets. So I will track that because as I am narrating this video, as I said, here we are on the pagan day of Monday, September 12th, which is the 149th day of the 177 annual day count at the start of the year to trumpets. So I'll post that every day on the community channel of this YouTube platform for one and all to see and share. So, closing out. Now, these were more noble than those in Thessalonica. Doesn't mean they were better. Doesn't mean they're more special. Doesn't mean they're more righteous. If you understand the word noble, it's linked to the word Sarah, as in the word Yisrael. It means they exert themselves with what Yahuwah provides. They read it daily with great eagerness, and they search those scriptures daily. So they get outside in creation with the sun, moon, and stars to see how they work, if these words were so. So this is who we enjoy fellowshipping with, if I can say that. And we love to hang around folks that have great skills in discernment, scriptural discernment, and this is why we have a proposed scriptural study format that seems to work very well and flushes out all the possible assumptions and presumptions, and why we remain thankful for all these people all over earth that we get to assemble with in scriptural studies in words, names, and the law, just like the psalmist said, that the witnesses are wonders, the words give light and understanding to the simple, and this is why we pant and long for Yahuwah's commands and love his name. The Father of lights, Yahuwah, and his Son's name, the Messiah or Mashiach, the anointed one of Yahuwah, named Yahushua, the one who called out to his Father for deliverance. So, we'll continue these scriptural studies with the sun, the greater light, the moon, the lesser light, and the stars, plural, not singular, not just one star. And we will use the scriptural stars. And I was just talking to a fellow berean before getting on the narration of this video. And she has found a way to take the magnitude of the stars, meaning the brightness of the stars, on the program called Stellarium, and turn it down. And what stars remain? These ones. Isn't that amazing? every time I get on a call and assemble with another berean in the name which is above all names, I learn something more. And it's just wonderful to glean with other bereans about the sun, moon, and stars. And I remain forever thankful. So, did the 6th new moon, the one that just passed, prove a dawn day start? It certainly did. And it will again when that anomaly shows up. So in closing, we continue to call upon the name which is above all names, that these scriptural study videos provide value to you and your loved ones. And until next time, Yahuwah willing, may the Messiah, Yahushua, be in everything we say and do. Have a YAHsome evening, everyone.